Look at you, not like the world looks at you, not with those half-open eyes, those fake little smirks, those quiet calculations they make when you walk into a room. No. Look at you the way the truth looks at you, cold, unblinking, exact. Because once you see it, really see it, you'll never shrink yourself again. You were never in the competition. That's the lie they sold you so you'd stay manageable. That's the lie they fed you so you'd keep doubting yourself just enough to remain useful. They told you life was a race. They told you to work harder, move faster, stay humble, be realistic, wait your turn, trust the process, keep your head down, clap for people who never would have clapped for you, and maybe one day, maybe, you'd earn your spot. Your spot? That's cute. Because the truth is, there was never a spot waiting for you. There was a whole system built to respond to what happens when somebody like you shows up. Somebody they can't predict. Somebody they can't copy without exposing themselves. Somebody they can't ignore without feeling threatened by their own reflection. You thought you were trying to keep up. Whole time, your presence was the pressure. Your existence was the disruption. Your fire was the reason everybody else started moving differently. You think it's random that people get weird when you start taking yourself seriously. You think it's random that the second you stop begging for validation, the room changes temperature. You think it's random that when you finally decide to build, focus, lock in, disappear, improve, people suddenly become concerned. No, that's not concern. That's panic with good manners. Because people are comfortable when you play small. They love that version of you, the version that laughs it off, the version that says, "I'm still figuring it out," the version that downplays the talent, the presence, the intelligence, the danger in you. They can sleep next to that version of you. They can compete with that version. They can give advice to that version. They can feel safe around that version. But the moment you stop performing weakness for their comfort, different story. Now they're watching. Now they're whispering. Now they're measuring themselves against a standard they never wanted to admit existed. You. That's why some people can't even explain why you bother them. You didn't do anything to them. You didn't steal from them. You didn't lie on them. You didn't attack them. You just stood there as yourself. And somehow that was enough to make them feel unstable. Why? Because your discipline exposes their excuses. Your hunger exposes their laziness. Your self-respect exposes their desperation. Your silence exposes their noise. And your potential. That's the part that really haunts them. Because potential is terrifying when it belongs to somebody who has pain behind it. See, talent is one thing. Plenty of people are talented, but talent mixed with betrayal, talent mixed with rejection, talent mixed with nights you cried in private and still woke up dangerous the next day, talent mixed with being overlooked, underestimated, disrespected, laughed at, abandoned, doubted, and still deciding not to fold. That's not normal. That's not competition. That's the reason competition starts breathing harder. You ever notice how average people love saying, "It's not that deep"? Of course they do, because depth terrifies the shallow. People who never had to rebuild themselves from the floor will never understand the look in your eyes. They'll call you intense, because they've never had to survive their own mind. They'll call you too much because they've built their personality around being digestible, easy to consume, easy to control, easy to replace. But you were never built to be replaceable. That's why you've always felt out of place in spaces that reward imitation. That's why small talk drains you. That's why fake energy makes your skin crawl. That's why you can sit in a crowded room and still feel completely alone. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because your spirit has always known you weren't made to blend into wallpaper. You weren't made to be one more name, one more face, one more fragile little ego begging to be picked. You were made to become the reference point, the thing people use when they say, "Why can't I be more like that?" The example they secretly study, the standard they pretend not to notice while rearranging their whole life around it. And let's talk about that for a second, because some of you still don't believe it. You still think confidence means arrogance. You still think owning your power makes you selfish. You still think shrinking is humility. No, let me fix that. Shrinking is self-betrayal when you know what lives inside you. Pretending you're ordinary when you know you're dangerous is not humility. It's fear wearing a polite face. And fear is expensive. Fear will have you wasting years trying to be liked by people who are never going to choose you. Fear will have you dimming yourself for people whose whole personality is built on being less than what they could have been. Fear will have you explaining your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you because your rise makes their comfort look like failure. And the scariest part, if you keep doing that long enough, you start forgetting who you are. You start speaking softer, dreaming smaller, negotiating with your own potential. You start calling your hunger too much. You start calling your standards unrealistic. You start calling your vision delusional. But deep down, you know. You know there's something in you that doesn't belong in ordinary hands. You know there's something in you that keeps surviving things that should have broken you. You know there's something in you that refuses to die, even when your heart is tired, even when your mind is loud, even when your life looks nothing like what you prayed for. That thing in you, that's the truth. That's the reason you can't fully give up. That's the reason disappointment never gets the final word with you. That's the reason every time life tries to bury you, something in you starts clawing upward with blood on its teeth. You keep calling it resilience. I call it evidence. Evidence that you were never meant to chase what was already beneath you. Evidence that your path was never about joining the race. It was about becoming the reason everybody else started running. Think about your whole life. How many times did people underestimate you because you were quiet? How many times did they mistake your patience for weakness? How many times did they think your kindness meant you had no edge? How many times did they assume that because you weren't loud, you weren't lethal? That's the thing about people. They trust appearances. They worship packaging. They confuse noise with power. They think the loudest person in the room is the strongest one. Meanwhile, the real threat is usually the one who says less, sees more, feels everything, remembers details, moves with intention, and doesn't announce the storm before it lands. That's you. And once you understand that, your whole life changes. Because then you stop trying to prove yourself to spectators. You stop arguing with people committed to seeing you wrong. You stop chasing applause from people who only clap when you stay convenient. You stop seeking permission. You stop asking, "Do I belong here?" And you start asking the only question that matters. What happens to this place when I fully become myself? That's when the game flips. That's when your work gets sharper. That's when your habits get cleaner. That's when you stop posting every move and start building in private. That's when people can feel your shift before they can explain it. That's when your energy starts saying things your mouth doesn't have to. Because real power gets quieter as it gets stronger. Weak people announce. Powerful people arrive. Weak people flex. Powerful people build. Weak people beg to be seen. Powerful people become impossible to ignore. And I need you to hear this in a way that hits your chest, not just your ears. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not losing because the world didn't validate you fast enough. Some of you think because it hasn't happened yet, it's not happening. Wrong. Pressure comes before eruption. Isolation comes before transformation. Confusion comes before clarity. And sometimes life has to strip you of every fake attachment, every false friend, every weak habit, every shallow desire, every cheap distraction, just to show you what's actually solid in you. That season where nobody checked on you. That season where you felt invisible. That season where you kept pouring and got nothing back. That season where you had to watch people fake support while secretly hoping you'd stall. That wasn't pointless. That was training. Training for the version of you that doesn't need constant reassurance. Training for the version of you that can sit alone without falling apart. Training for the version of you that can take a hit, read the room, adjust the plan, and still keep moving like a predator. Because let's be honest, life is not a cute little motivational quote. Life will embarrass you. Life will humble you. Life will let you love people who don't know what to do with your loyalty. Life will make you watch less disciplined people get quick results. Life will make you question yourself when you're doing everything right and still bleeding. But that's where most people break. That's where they start copying. That's where they get desperate. That's where they trade purpose for approval. That's where they become watered-down versions of themselves just to stay included. Not you, not anymore. Because now you understand something they don't. Temporary attention means nothing if it costs permanent self-respect. Cheap access means nothing if it drains your spirit. Being chosen means nothing if you had to abandon yourself to fit in the hands that chose you. No. You'd rather be alone than diluted. You'd rather be doubted than domesticated. You'd rather be misunderstood than mediocre. That's why your life is going to start changing the second you stop acting like you need the crowd to certify what God, pain, discipline, instinct, and survival have already confirmed. You're different. And I know some people hate that word, different, because they've heard it used like a consolation prize, like, you're different, and that's okay. Forget okay. You're different, and that's dangerous. Different is what shifts the culture. Different is what breaks stale patterns. Different is what walks into broken systems and makes them feel old. Different is what people mock in public and study in private. Different is what they call crazy right before it works. So stop apologizing for being the kind of person who can't settle. Stop apologizing for having standards. Stop apologizing for feeling things deeply. Stop apologizing for not being interested in fake smiles, fake love, fake networking, fake opportunities, fake friends, fake peace. You've survived too much to live fake. And that's the line right there. You have survived too much to keep playing tiny. Too much betrayal, too much disrespect, too many nights where you had to gather yourself with shaking hands and tell your soul, get up. We are not dying here. You didn't crawl through all that just to become normal. You didn't survive all that pain just to become passive. You didn't take all those hits just to hand your identity over to the opinions of people who quit on themselves years ago. No. That pain was expensive. Make it mean something. Turn it into standards. Turn it into discipline. Turn it into vision. Turn it into boundaries so sharp that weak intentions cut themselves trying to touch you. Turn it into focus so clean that distractions feel insulting. Turn it into presence so strong that people feel exposed around you. Because that's what power really is. Not shouting, not flexing, not pretending you don't care. Real power is knowing exactly who you are, exactly what you carry, exactly what you refuse, and exactly how far you're willing to go for the life with your name on it. Real power is walking away without needing revenge, because your future is punishment enough for everybody who played with you. Real power is staying solid when people project their insecurity onto you. Real power is building when nobody's watching. Real power is controlling your impulses when chaos would be easier. Real power is choosing growth over ego, even when your ego is screaming. And don't get it twisted. This path is not soft. When you become the standard, you lose access to average comfort. You lose the luxury of moving sloppy. You lose the excuse of pretending you don't know better. You lose the right to keep sleeping on yourself. Because once awareness hits, ignorance becomes a choice. And now, you know. You know you're not here to fit into somebody else's shallow little ranking system. You know you're not here to beg for front row seating in rooms built by cowards. You know you're not here to collect approval from people who don't even approve of themselves. You know you are the disruption, the pressure, the mirror, the challenge, the example, the thing they feel when they realize excuses won't save them anymore. That's why your name carries energy in rooms you're not even in. That's why some people bring you up for no reason. That's why your silence gets interpreted. That's why your growth makes people defensive. Because whether they admit it or not, your existence forces a decision. Rise or keep pretending. And a lot of people would rather hate you than face themselves. Let them. Their discomfort is not your emergency. Their insecurity is not your burden. Their projection is not your identity. You do not have to step down so broken people can feel tall. You do not have to explain your hunger to people addicted to mediocrity. You do not have to make yourself easier to digest for minds committed to staying small. You are not here to be easy to swallow. You are here to wake things up, including yourself, especially yourself. Because the biggest battle was never with them. It was always with the part of you that almost believed them. The part of you that started doubting your instincts. The part of you that got tired and nearly settled. The part of you that confused delay with denial. The part of you that looked at rejection and thought it meant you weren't enough. It didn't. It meant the room was too small. It meant the vision was too heavy for weak hands. It meant your next level required losing people addicted to your lower one. That's all. So now what? Now you stop waiting for the world to announce what you already know. Now you get ruthless about your energy. Now you protect your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Now you stop handing your attention to things that poison your spirit. Now you move like every habit matters, because it does. Now you start respecting yourself in private, not just in public. Because that's the difference. Anybody can look powerful for an hour. Anybody can post confidence. Anybody can talk like a monster when life is calm. But who are you when nobody's clapping? Who are you when it's boring? Who are you when you're tired? Who are you when your feelings are bleeding and the mission still needs discipline? That's where identity gets proven. That's where the standard is built. Not in the spotlight, in the repetition, in the lonely reps, in the quiet decisions, in the moments where you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. That's where people like you separate. That's where legends stop looking like regular people. One decision, then another, then another, then another. No applause, no audience, no guarantee, just code. And once that code gets in your blood, it's over. Because then nobody has to motivate you every 5 minutes. Nobody has to babysit your potential. Nobody has to remind you what you're capable of. You know, you remember, you move. And the wild part, when you finally step into that version of yourself, fully, unapologetically, relentlessly, people will say you changed. Of course you changed. You finally got tired of carrying greatness like it was something to be ashamed of. You finally got tired of dragging your own name through small rooms. You finally got tired of making yourself bite-sized for people who are choking on the truth anyway. You changed because you remembered. You were never one of the names on the list. You were the reason the list existed. You were never another player on the board. You were the reason the board had to be built. You were never one more person in the crowd. You were the pressure that made the crowd look over its shoulder. So stand like it, work like it, think like it, protect your peace like it, cut off what weakens you like it, train like it, speak like it, walk into every room like your energy should match the truth, not your past wounds. Because your wounds are real, yes, but they are not your rank. They are not your ceiling. They are not your final form. They are proof that hell took a swing and failed to erase you. And if hell couldn't erase you, what exactly makes you think a little rejection can stop you? What makes you think delay can kill you? What makes you think being doubted changes what's in you? It doesn't. It never did. The truth was always the truth. Before they noticed, before they applauded, before they copied, before they feared it, before they named it, you were always that. The only thing changing now is that you're done pretending not to know.